Hey everybody, and welcome to Don't Copy That Floppy. I'm your host Lex.
I'm Dan. I'm eating spaghetti.
Don't drop that spaghetti down.
I'll try.
Also, I'm gonna point out, because our listeners at home can't see your spaghetti, but there's no sauce on that spaghetti.
I don't enjoy tomato sauce on my spaghetti.
You're a fool. You're a heathen.
You're a madman and a fool.
So, for those of you who are new to the podcast, we are a weekly video game news and a little bit of review radio show, online radio show.
Yep.
We're broadcasting on chipbit.net weekly on Fridays from 7 until 8. We're starting a bit late today because we just had to go through a lot of articles. There's a ton of news.
It took us a long time to decide everything we were going to talk about and stuff.
Yeah, we didn't get to do a show last week because we were sick.
Yeah.
So we just had to figure out the important stuff from last week that we still wanted to talk about, and the important stuff from this week.
I just want to point out also, only I was sick. Alex was using the we were pregnant kind of
the royal
we. The royal we. We as a collective, we're in this together. So when one of us is sick, both of us is sick.
or in the case of your girlfriend, when one of you is sick, both of you are sick.
Yeah, that's more what it ended up being. So, what do we have to talk about today?
So much stuff.
We're going to do one thing that should have happened last week. We're going to start with our retrospective look at the Night Trap revamped Kickstarter.
Oh, excellent.
The final chapter in our exciting...
I know our audience was really...
hopefully not final chapter in this epic.
This chapter ends in ellipsis.
We're going to talk a bunch about Tokyo Game Show, some of the stuff that's been shown off. Not as much as I expected to see so far. Although allegedly tomorrow we'll be getting some Persona 5 information, which is what a lot of people have been waiting for. Going to talk about the Microsoft Mojang buyout, because everybody's talking about it, and it's important. A little bit about EA and their plans for the future, some stuff about Sony's finances, which has been a hot topic in the video game world lately. A little bit more about yet another failed Kickstarter game, as they keep on rolling out lately, it seems like. But and then just some little news related to Nintendo and some canceled games. And then we'll maybe round it off with a look at some upcoming releases and maybe a short review of something. Did you have anything to talk about?
We're not doing a review this week, partly because we have a ton of news, and partly because of the game that I tried to review. Usually on this show, we try and do reviews of games that we really like, and it doesn't matter necessarily when they came out, but just that they're things that people should check out. Yeah. And I tried to go back and replay a game from my childhood because I remember loving it so much. Horrible. Horrible.
So that's your review. It's terrible. What game was this?
I'll get into it later. Okay. As a last note before we get into stories, check us out on Facebook. Don't Copy That Floppy. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Don't Copy That Floppy. Yep. You can see we have a page on the Chipbit site, which you can get to. There's a huge link to it right on the front page. Mm-hmm. And we have a Twitter at DCTF Podcast. So if you can like us and subscribe to us on social media, we'd super appreciate it.
Do it everywhere.
Plus, we have our entire show archive now up on iTunes and the Chipbit site. So if you want to listen to any old episodes, they're all up there. This one will probably be up there,
And if anybody wants me to eat spaghetti during more shows, we can make it happen.
We have a chat, and you can tell
us if you love spaghetti.
Yeah, if you go to chipbit.net, on the homepage, top menu, there's a chat box.
And just hop in. You don't need to make an account or anything. And just yell at us during the show.
Yeah.
So anyway, Night Trap.
Night Trap.
Night Trap. So when we first started covering Night Trap, they had $33,000 out of $330,000 that they needed. Their Kickstarter ended with a total of just shy of $40,000. So not a lot of progress in the several weeks we were covering them. The failure of the Kickstarter was accompanied by a short, kind of sad update from the people helming it, which reads, "The four of us would like to thank everyone who took time to either support this project or offer constructive criticism. We have yet to decide whether we'll revisit the idea at some future date." Thus ends the saga of the Night Trap revamped Kickstarter.
Oh,
so the first thing, not even ignoring the money, like being able to see the money climb in real time, I kind of feel like almost nobody thought this was going to succeed, except maybe the people behind it.
Yeah, there's like, in those first few days, we were hopeful.
It was like maybe,
but
within a week you could tell. And there's just no way.
To be fair, that's part of the reason why we kept covering it, to mock it.
Yeah.
No, it was. We never thought it was going to succeed. Deep down, I always hoped it would.
It would have been kind of amazing to see it make its goal.
Yeah, that would be a real underdog Kickstarter story, and I would have enjoyed covering that. But they didn't do it. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, guys behind Night Trap.
Oh, damn it. So, yeah, this is not a surprise to anyone. I think it would be cool if these guys actually came back and said, we're going to try and make a sequel or something.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, they spent so much money on the rights to the game.
That's the thing that still baffles me. They spent $250,000 on the rights, and I'm like, really? They couldn't go any cheaper than that? Because nobody cares about this franchise. Those rights are not worth that much money. Yeah. As this Kickstarter shows, those rights are not worth nearly that much money.
So, hopefully sometime in the future, we will have an update on Night Trap and its existence in this world.
Can I also point out that while Dan is eating sketty, I am drinking a...
Sketty and butter.
Yeah. There's some cheese in there.
There is a little bit of Parmesan cheese in there.
I am drinking a sparkling grapefruit beverage. It's got 16% grapefruit juice in it, but it's from concentrate. I'm sorry.
It tastes good, though.
Oh, it tastes great.
So Tokyo Game Show happened. It's still happening. Yesterday and today were the business days, and the days open to the public are Saturday and Sunday. So it's not over yet, and like I said, allegedly Persona 5 information tomorrow on Saturday. So
something a lot of people are looking forward to.
I mean, tonight in 9:22 a.m. in Tokyo right now. So, soon, probably more info will be coming out.
So one of the really cool things, or one of the hopeful things about TGS this year, is, and this is from an article from The Guardian, published on the 18th of September, talking about how this is, interest is returning to Tokyo Game Show. Because it used to be that in the 80s and the 90s, the companies that really were the heavy hitters for video games were all Japanese.
Yes.
Specifically, they were Nintendo, but there was other companies in there too. Like Capcom was super big in the 90s.
Yeah.
So, and then once you got into the 2000s, you have the rise of the Xbox and thus Microsoft.
The rise of the Xbox.
Not
like
the Xbox
monolith,
One.
Like the monolith in 2001.
I mean, it was
big black shape.
big heavy monolith.
My God, it's full of Halo.
So we saw people moving away from Tokyo Game Show as the main show off place for video game stuff, and moving more toward E3.
Yeah.
And we've seen, I think, because E3 has gotten so much more corporate, so blatantly corporate.
E3 flat out is no longer a public trade show.
Yeah.
It's all business now. It's just big press conferences and then floors for stock people to go look at.
And for game journalists.
Stock investors and game journalists.
We're game journalists.
We're game journalists. This is my professionalism, eating spaghetti while we report on news.
That's still more professional than IGN, so it's fine. I think because of that, people are starting to turn more attention back to the Tokyo Game Show, and that's cool because even though they are still fairly corporate, they're, I'd say, significantly less so than E3 is.
Yeah, and it's like you said before, it's like Nintendo.
Yeah.
And Capcom and stuff.
So the corporations that are the big corporations, there are corporations that are actually kind of fun.
Yeah. Konami and things.
And not like EA.
Making silly Japanese games.
Yeah. about Italian plumber stereotypes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
But yeah, and this article talks about how the organizers of TGS claim this is the biggest show for years. Over 400 exhibitors from 32 countries and regions.
Oh, wow. So they're getting a lot more international draw now, too.
Yeah.
I mean, Western sites have started reporting on it more this year than I've noticed in past years as well. Like, IGN's been covering most of it this year. And usually it's not as direct. You don't have as direct a line to it in past years. It's just kind of whatever crops up on the internet.
Yeah, so this is cool. And I think all for the good, because I'm happy about that. But that being said, there was some silly Japanese stuff at this at this year's TGS. What do you want to start with?
What do I want to start with? I mean, if you're talking about silly stuff, we'll start with Final Fantasy.
Yeah. So, Final Fantasy 15, there was a trailer for
which
it.
has been in development for God knows how long now. It started as Final Fantasy Versus 13, and then evolved into whatever the hell it is now. But numerous trailers have been coming out for it over the years, and one of the things established in a trailer several years ago was the boy band-esque cast of main male characters, who... Now, I still haven't watched this new trailer yet, but according to you, it looks like just like some bro road trip game with monster fighting.
Final Fantasy 15 bro trip.
With monster fighting in between.
Yeah, no, they're driving around in a convertible that looks basically like a modern-day car. Like, it looks
the game has a very... sort of modern, semi-future metropolitan look to it.
Yeah.
In all the trailers they've released.
And you see a little bit of a city in that trailer, and some chick for like 5 seconds, but you mostly see the bros.
Those dudes.
And they're just driving in this car through like a wasteland, and then they'll be like, "Oh, look at that monster over there! Let's go fight it."
Better go fight it.
Yeah, and then they fight it with like swords and guns and stuff.
Frosted tips.
There's some great emo hair in that trailer.
Oh yeah,
let me tell you. So
this game is, like we said, has been in development for a ridiculous amount of time.
Oh, you can keep going.
Oh. Sorry, minor technical difficulties occurring. Has been in development for a ridiculous amount of time. And how much to say here? It's nearly 8-year development cycle so far. But luckily, after being renamed as Final Fantasy 15, they have been more consistently showing trailers for it. They have been more consistently talking about it. So it's looking like this is actually going to happen. And going to be on the current gen systems now and everything like that. So...
Yeah,
and it might be good. Maybe it's the little kick in the butt that the Final Fantasy franchise needs. Honestly, because that's been kind of... The quality of the mainline Final Fantasy games has not been stellar for the past few releases.
Yeah, in terms of the stuff that we've seen of gameplay from the trailer...
Yeah, it looks interesting.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of, hacking at monsters, but
they're doing, much more Kingdom Hearts style
than
past Final Fantasy games.
And movement and combat seems very fluid. There was, a lot of sidestepping and stuff that happened.
It looks fun.
Yeah, definitely.
If it controls well and everything, it looks like it'll be a good time to play. And I'm hoping we can expect the same lengthy story and just everything else that is come to be expected from that series. Because I know a lot of people were disappointed with 13. I wasn't as disappointed with it as most people I know, but it wasn't one of the better Final Fantasy games by any stretch. 12 had a lot of problems. 12 had tons of potential, but just did not realize most of it. And 11 and 14 are MMOs. So, and I love 10, but 10's the last one I played that I really was oh man.
And 10 is pretty old at this point.
Yeah, it's really old at this point, actually. It's over a decade now. Because I think it came out in 2001. So yeah, it's 13 years old. Which is ridiculous. So, yeah, Final Fantasy. On the less silly side of things, we got a new trailer for Silent Hills, which is the new Silent Hill game. It's like Alien to Aliens. Silent Hill was scary, and there was only one Silent Hill, but now there's a bunch, and it's directed by James Cameron.
Does this mean Silent Hills has got Space Marines?
Yeah, I hope so.
There are those hints that some of the sort of source of all the crazy stuff that's happening is aliens, which would be cool.
Silent Hill 2? Actually, I think all of them have an alien ending.
Oh, they do?
All the games have multiple endings, and as far as I know, pretty much all of the mainline Silent Hill games have an ending which involves aliens.
See, I'm not a huge Silent Hill.
Yeah. So, that may actually be a very real possibility.
Well, cool.
As long as it's scary, I don't care.
Yeah.
And it looks scary. They released another Bloodborne trailer. I didn't actually realize they'd released a new trailer. I watched some of the new gameplay stuff, but Bloodborne has an official date everywhere. It's February 5th in Japan and February 6th everywhere else.
It is really cool to have the official date, so yes. I'm really glad
I've marked it down as the date I buy a PS4, finally. So, that's all set. I mean, there's not much else to say about Bloodborne that we don't already know. Stuff about Yakuza 0, not that it'll ever come over here. And, they showed off Deep Down a bit more. They showed off Evil Within a bit more. They showed more information about the newest Monster Hunter game, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, which is the next one that's coming over to the States. I know a lot of people probably don't care, but I love Monster Hunter, so I'm very happy about that. The trailer looked super sweet. So, yeah. Not as much to talk about from TGS as E3, but that's to be expected. And definitely enough. And it's cool to see more gameplay and features of titles that we already knew about as well.
And hopefully, after this weekend, there'll be some more to talk about.
I mean, if Persona's being held off till tomorrow, I'm wondering if there's some other games that aren't being shown until the public days as well. So yeah, hopefully we'll see something about that. Maybe something about the new Pokemon games is possible.
That would definitely be cool. I'd love to hear about that. That Pikachu game that's in development that we reported on a while ago.
The creepy one.
With the motion capture.
Yeah.
Oh, that was horrifying.
So scary.
I'd love to hear some more about that.
Well, that was Silent Hills, wasn't it?
I think that's what that was.
There's some Pikachu in there. It's not aliens, it was Pikachu.
There's Pikachu in the villain.
The whole time. So yeah, Tokyo Game Show. It happened. I also wanted to bring up, related to Tokyo Game Show, a little multi-platform role-playing game called Zodiac, featuring talents of people behind Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, and a bunch of other JRPGs, all kind of coming together to make this game. It's going to be on touch devices, so iDevices. They showed it running on the PlayStation Vita as well, I believe. But it's a little multiplayer, 2D turn-based RPG. It's going to focus a lot on exploration and stuff like that. So it seems like it's a nice little thing, kind of like Child of Light, in that sort of vein. That might be nice to keep an eye on, since it's kind of being made by this weird pastiche of people, too. People with whose credits include, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy Tactics. People who are working on Final Fantasy 15 are also working on this.
Bros.
All sorts of stuff. Yeah, yes. Maybe there'll be more bro trips in this game. I hope there is. 2D bro trips.
Oh, great.
So yeah. Let's say we move on to one of the big news dealies of this and last week.
Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard that Microsoft just bought Mojang for $2.5 billion.
And on the off chance that you still don't know who Mojang is after all of this news about them, that is the studio behind Minecraft, which started as a guy making Minecraft. A man named Marcus Notch Person. And yeah, so he and the co-founders of the company are just leaving and taking their $2.5 billion.
As soon as the sale is finalized, Notch is gone.
Yeah. Notch himself said that it isn't about the money, it's about his sanity, which I feel like is only half true.
It's definitely about the money. I'm sorry.
Yeah, somebody hands you $2.5 billion, it's not, there's no way it's not about the money, at least to some degree. Although if he was driving himself crazy, that explains why he took so many vacations. But anyway, so you wanted to talk about what this means for the modding community for Minecraft, which is a very pertinent issue now that it's not owned by the small founder company.
Yeah, because we've had a lot of stories, especially in the past year, that people who run smaller servers and stuff,
we're concerned about the potential of this.
Yeah, because, or not this specifically, I didn't think people assumed there would be a buyout, but it was more that people will run servers, and then, because running a server costs money.
Yes.
They would say, hey, if you want to play on the server and be
you have
part
to pay
of
us
this,
a little bit of cash to keep it running. That's
which,
right. We talked about some legal issues that were coming up earlier.
Yeah, because then you're charging people to play a game that is not your game.
Right.
And that was the big problem.
But Mojang didn't care.
Yeah, there was a couple of times when Mojang was like, oh, our lawyers say we should try and crack down on this, but let's reach a compromise.
And they never really went...
Hey guys, sorry, due to a technical issue, we lost some of the middle of this show. Hopefully it will not happen again, but the audio is going to pick back up in a second, in the middle of a story about the CEO of EA, Andrew Wilson, and a plan that he's got for the company's future. Thanks.
On September 15th, talking about this. So he basically says that the first thing he wants to do is reestablish player-first culture in the company. Suggesting there was something that EA has lost over the years. Because the focus should be on the player and the people enjoying the entertainment you produce. That's the most important thing, and he wants to get back to that. I would agree with him that EA has lost touch with that in the past several years, in a big way. And I think most people who know about the gaming industry would probably agree.
Yeah.
Because EA always comes off as very impersonal and clearly money-grubbing. Compared to many other companies, and it's definitely gotten them a lot of bad rap.
So, part of me wants to believe him.
Yes.
Another part of me says this is
just
a soul-crushing corporation, and this is just a PR move.
Yeah, exactly. He's just saying this so people will be like, oh, well, EA's going to be better. It's not so bad.
But on the other hand, as we reported on in the
Mr.
earlier
Phil
episodes,
Spencer.
Early episodes of our show, which you can listen to on iTunes.
Yeah. He wanted to get back to games, video games on the Xbox.
And then at E3,
he did.
furthered that vision, and ever since,
he's still going on
it seems to be what Microsoft has been working toward. Things that seem to be changing at Microsoft for the better.
Maybe hell's frozen over right now, and EA is going to become a decent publisher.
We can only hope.
We can only hope. So his second thing that he wants to do, that was just like the first main idea he wanted to get out. The second one was a digital move to he basically wants to move more of their product towards a digital download medium, because DLC and all of their digital releases are selling like crazy, and their actual physical retail releases are dropping as far as revenue goes. So it sounds like they may try to move more to a digital thing. I know they had EA Origin, which was an attempt at doing a sort of digital distribution thing a la Steam.
Yeah.
That kind of blew up in their faces because nobody wanted it. And then the last thing is that he says that EA is a big company, traditionally divided according to expertise, such as development, sales, and marketing. And he wants to strip down the silos, quote unquote, and say that every person at EA has to accept responsibility for deepening and nurturing the relationship with the player. So it sounds like he wants the whole company to move in this direction, not just the developers, or just the marketing team, or just whatever.
Even the people making Madden.
Even the people making Madden have to care about their players still. Those horrible demons that pump out the same game every year.
I think
their little imp assembly line.
It's just a machine. I don't even think there's anyone working on the Madden games anymore.
This is a big computer that processes the current roster.
Yeah, they have an algorithm that
and makes up one BS new mechanic that gets removed the next year and replaced with another.
Exactly.
I bet you're right. That computer's going to really feel for the player now, though. They're going to reprogram it.
But can they?
They're just going to dial. They're just going to turn its evil dial down a little bit. Either that, or they're gonna, make the new feature this year a bunch of stuff where you can beat your wife.
Oh no!
I went there. I had to. I went there.
Dang.
Suck it, NFL.
Topical, serious stuff on Don't Copy That Floppy.
It just got real.
Hard-hitting news.
Let's make it fun again.
Let's make it fun. What are we gonna talk about next?
That's a great question. I want to talk about this other failed Kickstarter, because It's sad to see all these Kickstarters.
I thought we were going to make it fun.
Plans don't always work out, man. Just like this Kickstarter.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Driving that segue right into the next
yeah. So, Mr. Neil Stephenson, science fiction author Neil Stephenson, or Stephenson, I don't know how he pronounces it, he tried to get a little game together called Clang. I'm not actually sure what this game is.
Oh, wait.
Off the top of my head. Have you heard about this? Because I never heard about this game.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be like medieval sword fighting, but it's super, like, realistic.
Oh, look at this guy's beard.
Oh, man, that guy's great.
Oh, my goodness.
But yeah, it was supposed to be super realistic in, like, how brutal the fighting is and how much sort of, like, the weapon
the
would
movement
have
all worked and everything. Yeah. So it's just a very realistic dueling game, basically. So sadly, it reached its funding goal in 2012, which was $500,000. So it got up there, which is cool.
Because I remember hearing about this because it did so well. Yeah, and it looked so interesting.
But I guess that they failed to find additional investors after that immediate success on the Kickstarter, which led to financial troubles. And the author now confirms the development of the game has been terminated, and refunds will be given to supporters by request. So
by request.
So if you don't know, if you supported this and you want your money back, go get it.
This is why we're informing you about this.
Yeah.
It's important.
Hey, it's still better than what the Yogcast guys did.
That's true.
Handled it.
So this is interesting. Now, I haven't read through this Clang's Kickstarter, all the information they post on there, but do they say on there that they're gonna need additional investors after this? Because usually the Kickstarter implies that once they have this funding, they're good to go.
Yeah. So I don't know.
So if they don't state that, then that's kind of disingenuous, and they should have done that from the get-go. I also think one of the things that may have happened here was that when they started doing the Kickstarter and it was successful, they had a bunch of people who they were counting on to be investors, and those people were initially very enthusiastic, and then as the years have gone by, those people pulled out.
It's possible. The last update was before this cancellation was a year ago. And that, around a year ago, too, a prototype of the game was released on Steam and everything, so stuff was happening. But it seems like Stevenson finally kind of got fed up and realized they weren't going to be able to do it, so he decided rather than stringing people along, he was just going to terminate the whole project. Initially, a year ago, he said that the game was going to be on hold as they worked to solve their financial situation. So I would bet that you're right. They had some additional funding from somewhere that then they lost, which put them in dire straits and left them kind of trying to figure out what they were going to do.
Yeah, and then they spent a year trying to find more people, and when they couldn't, they just decided that they had to pull the plug.
So it's a shame.
It is a shame.
But this seems much more gracefully
it's so much better handled than most
of what we've seen. Yeah. So that sets it apart, at least, that you can get your money back by request.
Should we start doing a reoccurring segment called Kickstarter Fails?
I don't know. It's getting to the point where I feel like we could very easily. There's enough of them.
I'll make theme music for it.
Yeah! So, I hope, Mr. Stevenson, I know you're listening. So I hope you get to make Clang someday, because it actually seems like a cool idea. If done right, it could be a really fun game. Now we have some actual happy stuff to talk about. I know I said we would get happy, but this is actually
funny.
This is really funny. So, Super Smash Bros. Came out in Japan on the 3DS, and apparently there is a glitch currently, where if you play as Princess Peach in the online For Glory mode, which is the no items, competitive online mode, as opposed to one where you just play for laughs, and it has all the wacky stuff going on. If you do play as Peach in this, and use Peach's down B attack, which she pulls a turnip item out of the ground with that attack, and you do that too early in the first round of the game believes that you have illegally hacked an item into this mode, and it bans you. So all these people, since it's a very useful move of Peach's, so tons of people, day one in Japan, went online and played as Princess Peach and were immediately banned. Which, like, it sucks for them. It's only a 1-day ban, also. Like, it's not like a permanent thing. It's only a 24-hour ban. But it kept happening to people. And that's hilarious.
This is especially funny because a lot of people are always making fun of Nintendo for not doing a very good job with their online components of their games.
Yeah. Other than that, supposedly the online for this has been working great.
Well, that's good.
So that's fantastic to hear. But this is just, like, what a funny glitch to end up happening. They just don't want you playing as Princess Peach. So I'm assuming they'll have it fixed by the time it comes out in North America on the 3rd of October. And they may already have fixed it in Japan as well. This article about it is from September 14th, so it's 5 days ago. And I would assume that they would get on fixing this pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, that's a fun little tidbit. Also about Super Smash Bros., they announced that... I guess they didn't announce it, but a menu item in the 3DS version suggests that the handheld 3DS may be usable as a controller when connected to a Wii U playing Smash Brothers. So that's pretty neat.
That is neat.
That you may be able to use that as your controller and play with each other on the Wii U that way.
Yeah, it's cool product synergy.
Yeah.
And because I think more people have 3DSs than Wii U's, then it's like...
Definitely.
It's
probably a smart move on their part.
Your 4 friends... They all have 3DSs, but only one of them has a Wii U.
Well, and this way also, you all go over to that guy's house this way, even if you have that separation where one of you has a Wii U but not a 3DS and everyone else has 3DSs, they can all get Smash Bros. On their 3DSs and have fun with that. And you can get on your Wii U and have fun with that, and you can all still play together easily without them or you having to buy all these Wii U controllers.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a cool idea. I like it. So good for them. The demo for Smash Brothers has also been out. I believe they released codes for it, and today was the last day to use the codes to get that demo. People who got platinum member status on Club Nintendo and things. So a lot of people have been playing Smash Bros. Demo and enjoying it, saying it's a lot of fun. So it seems like they did a good job. Improved on a lot of things from Brawl. So. Yeah.
Good job, Nintendo.
Good job, Nintendo. I'm looking forward to the Wii U release, because I'm not buying it on my 3DS. But I am looking forward to it. But
after you get it on your Wii U, you can play it on your 3DS. What? On your Wii U.
This is too confusing.
This is too confusing.
I don't like it anymore. So what's this thing?
Oh, this is funny.
I guess we're just doing our little tidbits now of interesting things.
The table scraps.
Gears segment. Of War. Would you all like to play a game called Gears of War Tactics? Well, too bad, because it's canceled.
Thank goodness. Yeah, this is an article from Destructoid.
Yes.
From September 11th.
And God, this was supposed to be on Kinect?
Yeah. No.
Oh, how could they make it even worse?
We, basically the whole gaming community just dodged a bullet with this.
A few years ago, it was reportedly rumored that Gears of War would get a spin-off game built around Kinect.
The project never came to fruition, and that's seemingly for the best. If this alpha footage of Gears of War Tactics from VG Leaks is anything to go by.
And this was a Gears of War real-time strategy game controlled via Kinect.
Oh, man.
Does anybody remember Halo Wars? Does anybody remember the one person you knew? Because everybody had one person they knew who liked Halo Wars.
Yeah. I had that, Evan.
And everybody else knew that it was terrible.
Yeah. Evan loved it, but I was like, seriously, dude, it's not good.
It's awful. Just play StarCraft.
Yeah. Play StarCraft or play ODST or something.
Or something. Anything.
Anything.
Play Halo 3 or StarCraft. This is what happens when Cliffy B's not watching. Yeah, it's dangerous.
It's just such a ridiculous example of a dumb,
terrible idea.
Game. Because it's not
Halo Wars wasn't a good idea. So why would this be? Oh, it's terrible.
No, the one thing that I will cut them some slack on is the leaked build, the graphics look like vomit, but again, because...
well, that's like an alpha build.
Because it's an alpha build, so I don't expect the textures to be all nice and whatever. But yeah, man, and even if this had come out, because it was on Kinect, it would have worked so poorly.
Oh, it would have sucked. Everybody would have been running everywhere. You couldn't do it. Like, what do you do?
Also, I think it's funny that the whole...
I'm just going to keep making displeased grunting noises because I can't think of anything to say.
You would command a squad of these gears. And what's funny is
I forgot they were called gears.
I know, right?
Truly, these are the gears of war.
Gears of War,
I don't think they ever said that in the game, but they really should have.
Gears of War is not about its in-depth storytelling, alright?
But it is, though. Did you hear about Dom's wife?
Oh, God.
Did you hear about the giant worm?
So yeah.
I played the Gears of War games. They were fun. But yeah.
They controlled really well.
Yeah, no, they did. They were great. The cover systems were fun.
But no, so you would control 4 gears, run around a map shooting aliens.
And grunting.
But I really hope that they were going to keep the mechanic where if
you pat someone on the back
to get them to stand back up, because in a game like this, it would just break the game because your squad members couldn't die.
Well, you would pat them with the Kinect.
Oh, good.
You would be, oh my god, Kinect-based bro pats. Get up, you're fine. And Kinect has a microphone, so you could have to growl into the mic and tell them they were okay.
On second thought, I really wish this game came out.
Whisper tenderly in your fellow gear ear. Or ear gear. If they're wearing little headsets.
I think that they should do a thing with the Kinect.
I think they should bring this game back.
No, they should do a Gears game that's like a regular Gears game, but it has co-op. With the Kinect, so when you're playing with your friend, you can physically do
that would be terrific. That would be absolutely terrific. Get on that.
Please, Cliffy B, now you're back. Please put this in your new game.
Cliffy B, please put this in your new game. Please put back pat revivals in your new game.
You know he's gonna do it anyway. I'm just saying incorporate the Kinect into it.
Back pat revivals in Blue Streak or bust. So, that's that. Guess what, guys? Guess who's involved in video game news? Will Ferrell is.
Will Ferrell.
So, Will Ferrell is going to stream video games on Twitch because he hates cancer.
Now, this is a story that I've heard from a couple places.
Yep,
Specifically, we're getting this from Polygon from September 10th.
Yes. So, this is an older one. We would have probably talked about this last week had we done the show. But yeah. On October 26th, Will Ferrell's hosting a gaming event on Twitch to raise funds for children with cancer and their families. You can go to the promoted site, willferrellhatescancer.org, which is a terrific URL.
I'm going
That's the
there
point
right
across
now.
right there. It redirects to an Indiegogo campaign where he details his goal to raise $375,000 for charity and children with cancer. There are perks and everything. Anyone who donates at least $10 will be entered into a drawing to play games live with Will Ferrell at the Twitch headquarters in San Francisco. And the event will only happen if he hits the $375,000 goal. But just because he hits that goal, people give money to this anyway. Like, this is an awesome cause.
Yeah.
And it'll be really fun to watch Will Ferrell play video games with people. So, like, this is just a cool thing that I wanted to make sure we plugged. Because it's great.
And
this is a really good fundraiser.
Also, like, he can't be, like, that great at video games.
But it'll be terrific.
Yeah, so you'll just be beating him, and you'll hear him in the headset, and he'll just be swearing like he does in, like, Anchorman.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
It'll be great.
Oh, man.
It'll be terrific. So the actual event's set to happen on October 26th. So you've got plenty of time to give to the campaign. And get it all prepped up and ready. And hey, donate that $10. Maybe you'll get to go play video games with Will Ferrell. I'm probably gonna do that. Why not?
Yeah, I really like, one of the things that I love about the gaming community, is there are so many really great charities.
Yeah.
Like Child's Play is amazing.
Yeah. No, the gameplay community in general has just made from scratch tons of really amazing charities that have really taken off. There's a bunch. Is Child's Play the one where they do speed runs of games, or is that a different thing?
You might be right. I'm not
Because there is one,
sure.
I know there's also one, I don't know if it's Child's Play or another one where they speedrun games for charity, and that's fantastic too. Just like 24 hours of non-stop game speedrunning. And it's all, the best part is on top of everything else, it's all really fun to watch and get involved in.
Definitely.
And it's also for a super good cause usually, so like...
Oh yeah, and like the whole thing with Humble Bundles where you can decide where your money goes and most of the options are charities.
Fantastic.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
And video games. Also video games.
I love them.
I love them, they're great.
Will Ferrell loves them.
Will Ferrell loves them. He once played,
But he hates cancer.
He hates it so much. He claims that he once played Asteroids for 37 hours straight with no bathroom break.
Wow.
So there you go. He may be a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, so the Kickstarter, or the Indiegogo, did you say how much that's made so far?
Oh, I didn't. I didn't check it out because you pulled up the site, right?
Yeah, so it's 54,000 right now.
Okay.
Which is 14% and 23 days left. So
okay. So spread this around.
Yeah,
if this interests you, give some money to it and spread it around to everybody you know. Because it'd be awesome to see this happen. So you want to talk about some upcoming video game releases?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
I gotta open that on my computer. I'm gonna.
What do we got? We got a bunch of stuff. I mean, Destiny just came out. So that's like a big one to mention because... I don't know, I guess some people like it.
We're going to be talking about Destiny next week.
Yes.
Mostly because we haven't played it. We're probably not going to play it by next week.
I won't have played it by next week.
Yeah. But, a myriad of reasons.
But we'll talk about it as far as, like, news about it goes and everything.
Yeah, there's more. I've watched a lot of gameplay. I want to watch more, though, and read some more analytical stuff before I, do that. But yeah, next week we will be talking about it.
Very cool. So there's tons of stuff. As far as things that have come out, Destiny came out. Minecraft came out on the Xbox One. What else do we got here? Shovel Knight came out on Mac. If you've been waiting to get Shovel Knight on your Mac, now is the time.
Do it.
Goat Simulator for iOS and Android.
Amazing.
I know people have been hyped.
Now you can simulate being a goat on the go.
On the go. The new Naruto game, if that's your cup of tea, is out on Windows, PS3, and Xbox 360. Rome 2 Total War on the Mac.
Finally ported.
Tropico 5, if you want to be an island dictator some more. FIFA 15 is coming out next week.
If you want to, kick
love that soccer.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Hyrule Warriors, also coming out next week on the Wii U. If you want to play Dynasty Warriors Zelda, it's soon. I don't want to play Dynasty Warriors Zelda.
Yeah, because I don't like Dynasty Warriors.
That's my same feeling on it. It's just, it's Dynasty Warriors with a Zelda skin. So yeah.
Oh, there was
a bunch of stuff.
There was a thing that came out last week.
Disney Infinity 2.0 also comes out on the 23rd.
I've seen a lot of ads for that.
Yeah. Arcana Heart 3 Love Max. If you want to play a really weird Japanese fighting game, check that out.
It's got a lot of exclamation points at the
That's
end of
because
the
it's Japanese.
And that's going to be on PS3 and PS Vita, so last generation stuff.
Yes.
Counter-Strike Nexon Zombies. So there's a Counter-Strike Zombies game? Sweet. Sounds
cool.
Good. Sounds good.
There's a whole lot coming out.
Yeah. Oh, man. On the 23rd, Gauntlet.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that's something that I'm definitely going to try and get and review, probably not right after it comes out, but soon. Because that's the game that's being made by the people who made Magicka, which is an awesome game.
Yes.
And it's just their reboot of the Gauntlet franchise, which is the awesome, dungeon crawler.
Yep.
You should know what it is. If you don't, you can look it up. But
play Gauntlet 64. It's awesome.
Gauntlet Legends.
Gauntlet Legends, yes.
Sweet.
Yes, super good.
I always wanted to collect all the keys, but everyone was like, no, I'll collect the keys.
Dwarf
and I'm
needs
like, come on.
food badly. So we do have a little bit of time to review something. If you've got anything in mind. I could review something. I have something that I could review that I just finished playing.
Oh, really?
I do. I did it.
What did you finish?
Well, I'm not actually done playing it yet because I'm enjoying it a lot, but I did beat it, technically. So I recently picked up a game that I meant to play back when it was on the Wii, but I didn't. But now I have a PS Vita, and they just last year released a PS Vita version remaster of it. And that game is Muramasa the Demon Blade, which is an action RPG made by Vanillaware, the people who put out Dragon's Crown last year. And Muramasa, it's like a samurai, like Japanese folklore story, side-scrolling, like beautiful sprite art like Dragon's Crown, although like more Japanese styled rather than Western fantasy. And yeah, it's just an action game. You play as two characters. They each have their own completely separate stories. And the only times they ever meet up with each other are in some of the endings and in these like mountain hot springs that monkeys take you to.
Monkeys take you to mountain hot springs.
So the game, it's a ton of fun. You forge all these different swords. They've all got really cool powers. It's got a really cool mechanic for switching swords mid-battle where you always have 3 equipped. And part of the strategy is like knowing when to draw a new sword and like sheath an old one to let them regain their powers. You fight all sorts of Japanese monsters like Tengu and Kappa and like Oni and big dragons and messed up spider demons and possessed monks and stuff like that. It's super cool.
Oh no.
You get to eat the most amazingly delicious looking food ever because Vanillaware games, if you haven't played one, all the food in those games is the most delicious looking food I've ever seen in my life. Like, just Google Dragon's Crown food.
Oh, yeah.
It looks so good. Like, they made roasted scorpions look delicious. Like, and this game's no exception. You go to little, like, roadside restaurants to restore your health and buy, like, sushi or, like, dumplings, like, tempura and stuff. But the game's just a blast. It's really fast-paced, really simple, but, like, skill-based gameplay. Nice stories that intertwine in interesting ways, multiple endings. I've put about 20 hours into it so far. I got the first and second endings for both characters, and I'm working on getting the third and final endings for both of them. But there's tons of like post-game content, like dungeons to go through, challenge missions. There's 108 swords in the game for you to forge. So it's got content. There's no lack of that stuff. And just, there's some bonus bosses as well. Like, there's a big sea monster octopus boss that you can fight. And the whole level for it is based on that old painting of the giant wave. It's like that famous Japanese painting
of the
Great Wave. And the whole level is supposed to look like that painting, moving. And you fight this giant kraken octopus creature in the middle of this storm. It's really cool and absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, if you haven't heard of it, or if you have heard of it and haven't gotten a chance to check it out yet, and you have a Vita, pick up the Vita version. If you have a Wii, pick up the Wii version. I think you can emulate it on a computer too, if you know how to do that stuff. But either way, it's totally worth playing if you're looking for a fun action RPG with a very unique art style.
And give me the title of that again?
Muramasa the Demon Blade.
Oh, very nice.
Or Oboro Muramasa in Japanese. So yeah, good thing that game, and I'm still playing it. I want to do all the stuff. So fun times.
All right, well, that I think just about does it for us this week. Don't copy that, Floppy. We have been your weekly Fridays from 7 to 8 video game news and review show.
That's us.
I'm Lex.
I'm Dan.
Follow us on Facebook. Don't copy that, Floppy.
Yeah.
Or like us on Facebook, rather. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF Podcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Don't copy that, Floppy. Our entire show archive is up on iTunes. It's also on chipbit.net, which is where you can listen to this show live.
And most importantly, that thing you just said. Listen to it live every week.
Yes.
Maybe I'll be eating ziti next time.
Ooh.
Or rotini.
All the possibilities.
What pasta will I eat next? Tune in to find out.
So thank you so much for listening.
Absolutely. And it's always a pleasure to have you listening to us.
It warms my heart. But most importantly, remember,
don't copy that, Floppy. Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone.